Here.
Commissioner Zender,
Here.
Commissioner Hagadon,
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Here.
Commissioner Howell,
Here.
Commissioner Nicely,
Here.
Chairman Coleman.
Here. Okay, we have Commissioner Mass is going to open us with a prayer, and then Commissioner Nicely is going to lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we are so grateful for another day that we get to live here on earth, Lord. And we thank you, Lord, for this country that we get to live in, Lord, and the freedoms that we enjoy here. Thank you for the awesome responsibility of governing ourselves, Lord. I pray, Lord, for wisdom this morning. I pray for your blessing upon this place, upon this building, and upon these people that are here. Lord, give us wisdom and understanding, Lord, as we make decisions today. Lord, I pray for everyone that lives here in Lapeer County. Lord, I pray for a blessing on all the constituents, Lord, that are in the county, Lord, and I thank you for them. I thank you for this great state that we live in, Lord. We thank you for the beautiful sunshine that we've had these last few days, Lord. It's so beautiful to see the winter wonderland out there, Lord. And we thank you for that. Lord, I pray that you be with us today and bless it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming this morning. First order of business is approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted or as represented? Support. Motion support, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried. Consideration of the draft minutes from the January 19th committee of the whole meeting. Do we have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the draft meeting from January 19th.
Support Nicely.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried. And the distribution of the overnight travel request should be going around here. Where was that? Okay, let's make sure we get those. And then any department head updates you'd like to comment this morning?
Yes, I hate to take tips, but I don't know if anybody else is. Teresa Spencer, County Clerk, for those that may be viewing. Just a couple of updates I want to share with you all. Part of my function is clerk of the 40th Circuit Court, and I just wanted to let you know that we actually have our first jury trial in place for the 2023 calendar year. This year, we're going to be utilizing a pre-recorded jury orientation that has been prepared by the state court office that they recommend because it's a very consistent education, if you will, orientation for those jurors that are called in. So we've kind of patched together, because we had orientation yesterday, an overhead and a screen and a laptop. And going forward, I don't know if we're going to need a more permanent way to present that video, but I just wanted to let you know because there are so many functions that we have here in the building and the courts especially. Annually, my office sends 2,000 letters into our community. Those that either have a Michigan driver's license in Cook County or a state ID. That's how the random 3,000 names are chosen. So that's how we get our prospective jury pool for the next term. So we'll be doing that in the spring, but we're still operating with the last year term. The term runs from September 1st of 2022 all the way to August 31st, 2023. So that's just a little soundbite about the courts and jury and so on. We just did submit also to the courts our caseload update for 2022, and that was accepted. So annually, we have to do a review of all of the cases that we've handled, and there are many that we handle in the circuit court filing office that need to be reported out to state court. It's due on January 1st of the next year. So that's been filed and accepted. So that's the court update I wanted to share. And then secondly, with regard to elections, we have received from the Bureau of Elections the random selection of precincts for post-election audit. This would be the audit of November 2022. election. This has been in place for several years where the post-election audits happen. Usually they happen sooner than this, but because of that citizen that requested the partial recount throughout the state of Michigan, it delayed everything. But anyway, we had 3 precincts chosen, and they were Metamora Precinct 2, Dryden Precinct 1, and Mayfield Precinct 2. So we all have already conducted the first. It was Metamora, it was on the 31st. I just want to report that everything in that audit was exactly the same as election day returns. It's a pretty extensive process. We have to actually physically count all of the applications to vote, whether those are the applications by the in-precinct voters and also the AV voters. We have to match that out to the number of ballots cast. We have to physically count all of the ballots cast to make sure those numbers match. And in that precinct, we had 1,171 of those pieces of paper to count sometimes. But anyway, the end results were excellent. They were exact to election night reporting. And I do want to compliment the clerk and the deputy clerk in Metamora Township. Everything was so orderly when we arrived for the audit. These are posted meetings, anybody can attend. And in fact, we had one representative from the League of Women Voters that was with us on Tuesday. So again, our next audits will be February 7th, but it cycles at 10, that's gonna be in Dryden Township, and then February 8th at 10 a.m. in Mayfield Township. So just, they're posted, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
So you said that for this jury stuff, how many people are in a room when you guys are doing that presentation for them?
That's an excellent question. So monthly, we have 4 feasible panels of jurors, A, B, C, and D. And in the perfect world, if all jurors that are summoned are able to attend, those would be 45 people per panel. But the way our world is, if individuals have doctor's appointments or pre-scheduled travel, whatever, the chief judge is willing to work with them. So what that means is we have lesser than 45 people per panel. And I think, let me just estimate, for the 2 panels that we just brought in Wednesday, how many did we have?
We had 41.
41 between 2 panels. Fortunately, that was enough of a number of prospective jurors for the felony trial to still proceed. And I'm told that as of 3:30 yesterday afternoon, they had seated a jury. So depending on the type of trial, depends on the number of jurors, whether it's a civil trial or a felony trial. But so what we had, what again, 41 in the jury assembly room yesterday for orientation. But that's an excellent question.
We have had up to 150 in that room. And standing in the hallway.
Wow.
And it really is too tight to do that, because we have chairs for the jurors, prospective jurors to be seated in, and so that's really too many for that room. So, just excellent question, thank you. What's that?
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer. Any other department heads would like to comment this morning?
Good morning, just a brief status update. As of tomorrow, the postings for the assistant prosecuting attorney positions 1, 2, and 3 will have been up for 2 weeks, and so far we have 0 applicants. Just wanted to give you that.
Any department heads?
Good morning. Stats for the week: jail 19, Almont being 1, 3 for Emily City, 3 for Lapeer City, Sheriff's Office 10, State Police 2. Out of those 4 felony charges, 14 misdemeanor, 1 civil. Out of those 15 being male, 4 being female. Traffic stops 83, car crashes, accidents 62, personal injury accidents 3, fatality 0. When you see the fatalities, obviously we had the horrible one in Emily City. That's also in Emily City, even though we went and assisted them, it's an Emily City accident, so it won't show up on our staff. Couple things. One, I know Lieutenant Beebe was here last week and kind of talked about some of the things with the jail inspection. I know Steve well enough to know that he probably doesn't say too much of patting them, all of them on the back. But again, we're at the top of the state of Michigan, and then for our jails and our review through MDOC. I can't say it enough with how good Steve does back there. Obviously, we got some things on the agenda that was another idea of his, but a fantastic job. We saw, or probably saw in the paper, obviously Crystal wrote on it. Last week we had, in one day, we had 2 barricaded suicidals. I think a lot of times we come up and we talk about these things, and I think it's good. I think it's very important to put it out there to the public so they see what the men and women are doing all the time. This is a horrible time of year for suicides. You'll get the holidays around Christmas that are really bad, but you get into that February mark, end of January, probably like the same depression that each of us feel as we look out and it's dark and it's cold and it's crummy and it really takes a toll on mental health with it. So both those situations were really bad. Obviously one was with a knife, one was with a handgun. And I don't go into too much detail with it, but on the one, the person was begging for our guys to shoot and kill them. You get that a lot, that it's suicide by police. To see the restraint that these guys and girls use, I think was phenomenal. And I credit each one of them. One of the pieces, and Commissioner Zender was the big push on this, is body cams. So when we have situations like that happen in the future with body cams coming, those are huge training opportunities for all of us to be able to go back and review the body cam, run it through in roll calls, showing the guys and girls the restraint that our people use. So super proud or happy that the body cams are coming. We did go, and as I said, Brian worked his butt off on this, but we were on a Zoom yesterday with them, with the new project manager. They are, like everything, waiting on some parts and things like that. Like as the world turns right now. But we have right now a projected date of May 1st is when we will start installing. People think of body cams and go, okay, well, you put them on and off you go. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had IT and everybody on this Zoom yesterday with Motorola, because ultimately, like with us, we got about 22 active patrol cars, about 25 total. All those cars are going to have to be, the cages, everything are going to have to come out of them. Just for the wiring inside of those. So it's not something that happens quickly. Fortunately, Deputy Kaniak is one of our main people that does a lot of our builds on our cars. But they have to sync up with the in-car cameras also. So technology-wise, there's some things we got to do as imports between some of our townships, our contracts, our Mayfields, our North Branch, things like that, as in running towers that all that information downloads. So it's a pretty big project, but it's pretty exciting that it's up and rolling. So any questions about any of that? Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I forgot to ask Mr. Miller, did you guys put out a secretary position too?
Yes, we did post the secretary position. We've had over 100 applicants. We've been conducting interviews this week, so that one's been very well received.
Okay, thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any other department heads like to comment this morning?
Good morning. Well, I have a couple updates for you guys. One, you guys know we've been trying to come this for a long time. Happy to report that that's finally starting to come into place. So I worked on our master list of ordinances. Basically, they sent me an entire list of all ordinances that were in our county that somebody could potentially be cited for. I had to review that list and go through all the animal-related ones and then figure out what was and what was not there. So Clemens has that. They're in the process of actually programming it into that program. And then our computers for our cars are also in the process of being built. We did try to fill our animal intake coordinator position because we had an ACO resign. And instead of replacing her as another animal control officer, we did an animal intake coordinator, somebody who would be focused on animal health and adoptions in our office, not on the road. I did have 164 applicants. I narrowed that down, interviewed a lot of people, and then I have a girl starting on Monday, and I'm very excited for her. She has tons of veterinary experience, tons of experience studying animal behavior, meeting with the doctors. I think this is gonna be great in terms of our adoption program, also focusing on animal health, getting them vaccinated, heart rate tested, getting them to the vet when they need to. So she starts on Monday. Eventually, I will bring her and introduce you to her. If you adopt from us, you'll see her. And then we also were invited to do another event with Bissell. So Bissell Pet Foundation, Happy Bissell, used by Bissell products. A portion of their proceeds goes into their Bissell Pet Foundation. Basically, that foundation helps organizations like mine anytime we have really large cases. They help network animals, help provide vet care to animals, and they also help the adoption process of animals. So they are doing a Valentine's Day special on February 9th through the 15th. We'll have reduced adoption fees. So our adoption fee will be $50, and then Bissell will reimburse us for the difference in our normal adoption fee. We are going to allow walk-in appointments for those few days so people can view all of our animals. And then if you have kids, cats, or other dogs, we may ask you to bring them in to do a meet and greet before we send the animal home with you for an adoption. So.
You still have that really cute husky?
I do. I have a really cute husky. He's very nice. He is like, he's not a great breed of a husky, I'm not gonna lie. He's like 3 feet too short, but he's really, he's very, very cute. He's very chunky. He's very active. He loves kids. He loves cats. I'm shocked that he hasn't gone yet, but yes, he's there if anybody would like to meet him.
How about that cat? I think its name's Manny. It's got the
He actually
lion's
got,
name.
yeah, he actually just got adopted yesterday. He actually got adopted by a detective out of Oakland County. So.
Well, just be careful, because when we did that tour, I got sucked in, and I thought I was adopting a cat, and it ended up being a dog, because it doesn't believe in personal space.
I have lots of really nice cats. I think we're up to 16 dogs this morning. I have more coming in by the end of the day, so we'll have a lot available for adoption for that event.
Everybody should be friends with the Lapeer County Animal Control Facebook page, because you see all these cute pictures all the time.
Yeah,
Good luck with the Bill
if you're
Murray
ever,
on that.
yeah, if you're ever, like your partner situations, just check out all those Facebook posts and videos and all of our social media, because pretty soon you're gonna want a cat or a dog. You guys have any questions for me?
Any more questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other department heads like to comment this morning? Okay, we'll move on to the first public time. Is there anybody from the public who would like to comment this morning? And as a reminder, just please state your name and your township.
Dr. Christine Veneman, MSU Extension, Lapeer County, North Branch Township. I put on your table my schedule for the upcoming year for the food safety programs that I provide. And that's just one part of my job. The food safety education, I use the curriculum ServSafe, which is one of the recognized across the state. In the state of Michigan, we are required to have one person that is called the food safety person in charge. And the law just changed so that that person has to be present all the hours of operation. So food service establishments may have 2 or 3 to 4 of those folks so that they can cover that aspect of their food safety. I'm offering the class about 10 times this year, and their certification lasts for 3 years. The ServSafe is a curriculum that was produced by the National Restaurant Association. They write the test, they write the curriculum. What's interesting is that the 2 entities never meet, so that the exam is based upon strictly the food code that's across the United States. That certification lasts for 3 years, and then the person either needs to have to recertify, or the establishment needs a new person. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to comment during the first public time?
Hi, Jerry Koch, Oregon Township. I'd like to congratulate you on completing your first month. I know whenever you start a new project like this, there's a little bit of trepidation and certainty. You guys are trying your best. I know the more experienced, government officials are kind of leading the way. I see Lynette shakes her head with less frequency lately. So anyway, the point I'm trying, the reason I was up here, the other day I saw Commissioner Hagedorn on a YouTube video, and he mentioned the internet project that we're doing. I know that project Michigan Moonshot was a data collection service, and he gave the impression that, at least maybe I misinterpreted it or not, that we already have like shovel-ready projects ready to go, and that we have money set aside, and we're just waiting for state funding. I know that there was federal funding that was supposed to be available. I thought it was supposed to be available by January, when a decision was supposed to be made. Back in October, the Biden administration released like a quarter of $1 billion to the state of Michigan. And I know that decision, I think, should be made by March. It's only, I think, 67,000 homes, and I mean, that will cover Lapeer County, but that money was supposed to be spread out through the whole state. And I'd like to know how much of that little piece of pie that we're gonna be getting, because 20% of the county does not have high-speed internet. And like, that's just blocking people out. I mean, this is the modern world. You might as well not have electricity in 20% of the homes and see how people act then. So that's a priority utility that we need to take care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to comment during the first public time?
Good morning, Carol with Marathon Township. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who was involved in the website. When I went to the address last night, I was thinking the old website was gonna come up and the new one did it. I was just like, it's beautiful. And I actually texted it out to a few people in our prayer group, because I was like, you gotta check this out. It's great. You can, get to the agendas, you can get to the videos of the past meetings. So thank you to everyone who did that. It's great. And tonight in Marathon Township, we have a special meeting by the Planning Commission. I guess Getaway has come back to them, and I have no idea we don't have an agenda, but they're coming back to them for something else. There's a lot of rumors flying around, so the meeting is at Marathon Township at 6 o'clock tonight, if anyone is interested in sitting in on a Planning Commission and seeing a special land use applicant come back and ask for more. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public who'd like to comment during the first public time? Okay, we'll close the first public time and we'll move on to the Sheriff's Department request to renew the Michigan Sheriff's Coordinating and Training Council Grant for 2023. Sheriff, you want to speak on that?
I guess just if you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions? We have a motion on that?
Move it.
Hang it on support.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no? Okay, motion carried.
That's my kind of agenda item. Thank
But not all this easy.
you.
Sheriff,
Thank you.
the rest of your day is not gonna go like that.
I tried.
Okay, second order of business here is the Health Department request authorization to accept local Health Department staff well-being mini grant for $4,000.
I'm mainly here for questions.
Anybody have any questions before we? Do you have anything to?
I'm
add?
sorry?
Did you have anything to add to it?
Not really. This is the third year in a row that they have offered this to us, and it provides us a day to be able to provide some training and a lunch to our staff. It's about the only grant that we have that actually lets us provide lunch for our staff. So it's kind of a once a year thing for some training and that.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
I'll support it.
Any
Senator
discussion?
Hamilton.
Any discussion? Okay,
Just a question. Is there any matching money required from us?
No.
So it's
No.
only grant.
They actually will send us this 4,000 as soon as the board chair signs us and sends it in, and we then just account for how we spent it back to the board.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Request authorization to accept the Region 10 PIHP prevention service contract. There's Agreement 3 and Agreement 4 for a total of $27,037.56.
This is Todd Engelbrandt, our AICC coordinator, or administrator, I should say. Sorry about that. Demoted Jim. Just brought him to make sure, in case you had questions.
May I have a motion? Any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Take it on support. Yes. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Okay. Old business, we have community mental health, request to renew the lease space agreement with Hamilton Community Health at 1570 Suncrest Drive.
I'll move it. Support. Nice.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried. Brings us to second public time. Anybody would like to comment during the second public time? Okay, we'll close the second public time. And do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Yes, I'll move to go into closed session for the purpose of consulting with the county's counsel regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with the pending litigation entitled Wellman versus Lapeer County.
Take it on support. Okay, discussion on that. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Howell,
Yes.
Commissioner Zender,
Yes.
Commissioner Hagedorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicely,
Yes.
Commissioner Nass,
Yes.
Chairman Coleman.
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Going to closed session, 5-minute recess. 5 minute, okay.
You see you first. Good.